How long will this go on? Betwabu, beautiful people. Sawubona bana betu. I see you, children of the house. Children of the house of Bet-El, the house of Yah-El, the house of El, the house of Bethel. Bana, children. Bana means children. Sawubona means I see you. Betu, house. Bantu. Sawubona bana betu. I see you, children of the house. All right, beautiful people. Today, Yibo Sawubona Yaya. All right, y'all. It is Wednesday, June the 3rd, 2020, y'all. We are on day 163, year 2 of reading through the books of the law and the prophets. Sawubona bana betu. I see you, children of the house. All right, y'all, and we are in Isaiah 4, 5, and 6 today. All right, y'all, let's get to it. 4 is like 6 verses. All right, Isaiah chapter 4. And in that day, okay. Good morning, James. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. In that day shall the branch of Yahuwah be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. All right, so this first verse, when it says, 7 women shall take hold of one man, this was when Israel was first scattered. When Jerusalem was cleared out, there were a small remnant left in the land. Just so we got that clear. In that day shall the branch of Yahuwah be beautiful and glorious, and the fruit of the earth shall be excellent and comely for them that are escaped of Israel. And it shall come to pass that he that is left in Zion and he that remaineth in Jerusalem shall be called holy, even every one that is written among the living in Jerusalem. When Yahuwah shall have washed away all the filth of the daughters of Zion, and shall have purged the blood of Jerusalem from the midst thereof, by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And Yahuwah will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day and a shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. And we can't just pass over what they said, where Yahuwah says that he will purge his people by the spirit of judgment and by the spirit of burning. And Yahuwah will create upon every dwelling place of Mount Zion and upon her assemblies a cloud and smoke by day and the shining of a flaming fire by night. For upon all the glory shall be a defense. And there shall be a tabernacle for a shadow in the daytime from the heat, and for a place of refuge, and for a covert from the storm and from the rain. Isaiah chapter 5. Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. My well-beloved hath a vineyard and is a very fruitful hill. And he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted it with the choicest vine and built a tower in the midst of it and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and it brought forth wild grapes. And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard. What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it? Wherefore, when I looked that I should bring forth grapes, it brought forth wild grapes. And now to go, I will tell you what I will do to my vineyard. I will take away the hedge thereof, and it shall be eaten up, and break down the wall thereof, and it shall be trodden down. And I will lay it waste. It shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns. I also commanded that the clouds, that they rain no rain upon it. For the vineyard of Yahuwah of hosts is the house of Israel. So right here, when he's talking about the garden, his vineyard, his garden, he's talking about his people. Remember, when Yahuwah gives analogies like this, if we keep reading just a little bit further, it always, I cannot reiterate that enough, it always gives us the interpretation of what he was saying. There is no need for anybody to come with any new revelation. Yahuwah can to help you see, take the analogy and apply it to your current life, and how you can see the principle of what he was saying. But there's always the interpretation with the dream or the analogy that Yahuwah gives. For the vineyard, verse 7 of chapter 5 of Isaiah, for the vineyard of Yahuwah of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, for the righteous, but behold a cry. And he said at this time, when he looked out in the midst of his people, when he came out to tread his wine press, to come and go through his garden and prune it, he said he planted good seed, but nothing but bad fruit came up. He said, what happened? He said he's looking for judgment among his people, righteous judgment, but all he sees and hears is outcries from the people for unjust rulers ruling over him. And he's talking about his people. He's talking about us, his people. When we were still in our land ruling, our ancestors were doing what was wrong. They were in positions of power, just like what we're living under today, tyranny. They were being tyrants to the people. He said, what happened? I planted a righteous plant, yet I see unrighteous judgment going on in the land. I'll read that again. Verse 7. For the house of Yahuwah of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah his pleasant plant. And he looked for judgment, but behold oppression, for righteousness, but behold a cry. Woe unto them that join house to house, that lay field to field, till there be no place, that they may be placed alone in the midst of the earth. And my ears, said Yahuwah of hosts, of a truth many houses shall be desolate, even great and fair, without inhabitant. Yea, 10 acres of vineyard shall yield one bath, and the seed of an omer shall yield an ephah. Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue unto night, till wine inflame them. And the harp, and the viol, and the tabret, and a pipe, and wine are in their feast, but they regard not the work of Yahuwah, neither consider the operation of his hand. For my people are gone into captivity, because they have no knowledge, and their honorable men are famished, and their multitude dried up with thirst. Therefore hell hath enlarged herself, and opened her mouth without measure. And their glory, and their multitude, and their pomp, and he that rejoices shall descend into it. We have descended into hell. When we were taken out of our land, this begun that prophecy that Yahuwah spoke out of his mouth. And the mean man shall be brought down, and the mighty man shall be humble, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humble. But Yahuwah of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and Yahuwah that is holy shall be sanctified in righteousness. Then shall the lambs feed after their manner, and the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were a cart rope, that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink, which justify the wicked for reward, and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Therefore, as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as dust, because they have cast away the law of Yahuwah of hosts, and despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. Therefore is the anger of Yahuwah kindled against his people, and he hath stretched forth his hand against them that have smitten them, and the hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still. And he will lift up an ensign to the nations from afar, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth, and behold, they shall come with speed swiftly. None shall be weary nor stumble among them, nor shall slumber nor sleep. Neither shall the girdle of their loins be loosened, nor the latchet of their shoes be broken, whose arrows are sharp and all their bows bent. With their horses' hoofs shall be counted like flint, and their wheels like a whirlwind. Their roaring shall be like a lion. They shall roar like young lions. They Yea, they shall roar, and lay hold on the prey, and shall carry it away safe, and none shall deliver it. And in that day they shall roar against them like the roaring of the sea. And if one look unto the land, behold darkness and sorrow, and the light that is darkened in the heavens thereof. Last chapter for today, y'all, Isaiah chapter 6. In the year that King Uzziah died, I saw also Yahuwah sitting upon a throne, high and lifted up, and his train filled the temple. Above it stood the seraphims. Each had 6 wings. With twain he covered his face, with twain he covered his feet, and with twain he did fly. And one cried unto another and said, Holy, holy, holy is Yahuwah of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And the posts of the door moved at the voice of him that cried, and the house was filled with smoke. And then I said, Woe is me, for I am undone, because I am a man of unclean lips, and I dwell in the midst of a people of unclean lips. For my eyes have seen the King, Yahuwah of hosts. Then flew the one of the seraphims unto me, having a live coal in his hand, which he had taken with the tongs from off the altar. And he laid it upon my mouth and said, Lo, this has touched thy lips, and thy iniquity is taken away, and thy sin purged. Also I heard the voice of Yahuwah saying, Whom shall I send, and who will go for us? Then I said, Here I am, send me. And he said, Go, and tell this people, Hear indeed, but understand not, and see indeed, but perceive not, and make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert and be healed. Then said I, Yahuwah, how long? And he answered, Until the cities be wasted without inhabitant, and the houses without man, and the land be utterly desolate, and Yahuwah have removed men far away, and there be a great forsaking in the midst of the land. But yet in it shall be a tenth, and it shall return, and shall be eaten, and as a teil tree, and as a oak, whose substance is them, when they cast their leaves, so the holy seed shall be the substance thereof. And that, my beautiful people, is our reading for today. That was Isaiah 4, 5, and 6. It is June the 3rd, 2020, Wednesday, day 163 of year 2 of reading through the books of instruction and the prophets, also known as the books of the law and the prophets, also known as the Old Testament. All right, beautiful people. So we'll go ahead and do this blessing today. It is found in Numbers chapter 6. Y'all know the verses. 22 through 27. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses and said, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise you shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, May Yahuwah bless us and keep us. May Yahuwah make his face to shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May Yahuwah lift up his countenance upon us and give us his peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. All right, beautiful people. I love y'all, and I will see you bright and early in the morning. 7:15. Peace.